As you know, we are helping you improve your home this week on 3+U. Some of the conversations that we have will focus from the ground up. Sometimes it might focus on things to do from the top down. And it's the top down that we're focusing on this go around because we're paying a visit to Isaac Libby at Best Buy Metals up in Cleveland. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Julie.
So I have said this, I'll say it again on camera, that I was very impressed when I walked in the showroom for the first time, by the way, after all the years of talking to you on the show, to really see for myself and not just in a picture what you are able to do with the metals that you're producing here. Everything behind us is metal, right?
That's correct, yes ma'am.
When I say you're doing it here, you truly are. A lot of the conversations about home improvement over the last 2 years, Isaac, have dealt with the whole supply chain concern. You don't have that same worry, do you? Because you're manufacturing it right here on site.
That's correct. We've been very thankful to be able to keep up with the demand and actually be able to provide the materials to be able to manufacture right here.
I just learned, seconds ago, I just learned, if I heard you right, that you began this business, you stepped out when you were in your 20s, right?
That's correct. Yes,
24 years old, and you thought, I think I can do this, and you gave it a go. I'm guessing that part of the secret to your success is that you've tackled expansion when you were ready.
That is correct, for sure. Try to not do too much at one time, just one step at a time.
So where I'm going with that is that over the years that we've been talking on the show, almost 12 years now, often the conversation was about the roofing side of Best Buy Metals, and I want to talk about that today. But you've expanded recently, and now you do siding.
That is correct. We've always done the metal siding when it comes to the buildings, but now we were able to acquire the equipment to do the siding that goes vertical as well as the board and batten. So.
You've been doing this for 20 some odd years. You can't possibly teach me everything in a few minutes of a conversation, but cram as much in as you can because it's so impressive to look behind here and see the different styles, like the slate looking roof over there. That's metal.
That is. And the good thing is it don't matter what the home is, you got a variety to choose from. So every home, one of these applications would look really nice on it. So you do have the slate metal. If somebody don't want to go with the traditional 3-foot, we sell a lot of the 3-foot wide metal you see everywhere, and very good panel. But this gives it another look, especially for if they just want to go with a premium look for their house.
People are looking for ways to be smart with their money. You know that. They don't get much smarter with their money than coming to you at Best Buy Metals. The guaranteed lifetime of this thing is unmatched. That
is true. You know, you was talking about the roof, when it comes from the top down, it's one of the, we feel, very important part of your home because it protects everything underneath. So the metal is something that we emphasize on, that we really want it to be a product that they like on their home, but it also has to be something that's going to keep their home for years to come.
There is an aesthetic nature that people want. They want their home to be pretty. You've got lots of color choices. Obviously, everything we're seeing has some type of paint on it. The paint alone comes with, what is it, a 40-year guarantee?
That is correct, yes ma'am, 40 years. And in that 40 years, it's really, it's a baked-on finish. So it's the best product you'll find as far as lasting. Now it still comes, it has a ratio. So the sun is baking down on that, but you're not going to have to worry about it fading in spots or unevenness.
Right.
You know, and so it's a...
Okay, so let's talk about that sun baking down, and you play true or false with me a little bit.
Okay.
Because I would think if it's a typical August in Tennessee, we get hot weather. Logic would tell me that if it's baking down on that roof, that's going to make the metal roof hot on the inside of your house. But that's not true, is it?
No, you're right. It's not true, and that is a misconception because you would think, well, metal is going to heat up. But what it really does is these paint systems, the way they come up with now, it's got a reflecting value, so it's energy efficient. So it don't matter what color, even if it's a darker roof. Like you said, we do have like 18 different colors of roofs, so of panels. But even a darker roof, because of the metal and the pigments they put in the paint, it'll actually reflect the heat away from the house. Unlike some of these other products that have tar in it, it will actually absorb it and hold the heat in. So even for that reason, they do deductions on the Energy Star.
I think that I'm right in saying that y'all tried to make shopping you very consumer friendly, and I think you still have on your website that ability for people to go to a certain website and almost anonymously type in the specs of their home and get a quote. Am I right?
That is correct. The aerial views is part of what you're referring to. They could, if somebody needs a quote on materials, they put in the address, from satellite vision. We could zoom in, we can get the details on their house and give them a very accurate quote on the home.
So you're happy to do that for people if they're thinking about it on a Sunday morning over a cup of coffee. But don't you love it when people like me come in here and go, wow? Because that's what I've done today, is to walk in after talking to you all these years, but I'm stunned by what I see.
That's actually, we do want people to see the products. We want them to feel very comfortable with what they're choosing. And we want to take them a walk around, let them look at something that they feel like would suit their home. Even if they go back to what we see the most of, they still have options. So it does give them something to look at.
In terms of the roofing, you are manufacturing it like everything else here on site. If you have a shingle roof, do you have to take that off to put your roof on?
In most cases, you could leave the shingle roof, as long as it's not more than 2 layers. They trim all the way around the edges, and you put an underlayment on that, and then put the metal directly on. That saves you a lot of expense and tear off, and it also, it's just not a need in it. You don't have that environmental where you go to the landfill and all this. Now, there are times, if there's dips in the roof, soft places, that you do need to take care of those places. Sometimes they strip it with 1x4s in order to give it a solid foundation to screw to. But in most cases, you do not need to take them off.
So when your guys come out to do the assessment, they can tell the homeowner that at that time? Is that right?
That would be the contractor in most cases. We're mainly selling the product. We really don't do any installation ourselves. Now, we can give the quotes, and the contractors will give the recommendation on what that roof actually needs.
Okay, same true for the siding?
That is correct. Yes,
so if you have already a vinyl siding house, I guess, would you have vinyl siding? Is that what you would have?
Some of them, quite often, they'll have a vinyl siding, or sometimes if it's the remodeling a home, it might be an old board that's on there. And
does that have to come off?
On the vinyl siding, you really do need to. Most of the time, it's got a solid plywood behind it, and you just take the vinyl siding off, and then you're able to screw directly to that.
The bank building that we have back here.
Yes.
That look, that's kind of got that farmhouse, cottagey look that people are going for these days. Is that a real popular choice?
It really is. That's what we call the board and batten, and we do have a piece of equipment that does make that panel right there. And some people will take and mix it in. Sometimes they'll do this for the entire home. Other times they'll do it with an accent and then use the other vertical siding to finish out the home.
And do you have people here who kind of help design with the homeowner? If they come in and say, this is what it looks like now, get me to here?
Absolutely. You can bring in blueprints, you can bring in a picture, and we'll give you ideas and suggestions for sure on which way. And then a lot of it's still going to come to what colors that they might like, but we'll definitely help with that.
All right, last question, because I know you have customers to go see. If they come in and they place an order tomorrow, how long before they have it ready to get to the contractor?
That is a good question. You know, we do try our best. The customer service aspect of Best Buy Metals is very important to us. The time they want it quick. In a lot of cases, we could have it manufactured and ready for the very next day on a lot of the panels, even on these sidings. The equipment's here. There's some things on, like standing seam, the hidden fastener panel, we might tell them 3 or 4 days or a week, just because of the demand that we have at the time, but it's still going to be relatively quick.
3 or 4 days to a week, and that's your slow period? That's very fast, Isaac.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting us come in today.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you for coming.
So here's where you can come in. So you can go from the comfort of your sofa and go on the website that you see there on your screen. But do yourself a favor and come up to the showroom here in Cleveland. Let them have a chance to talk to you, kind of walk you through the various ways they can help you, not only with the beauty of your home, the durability of your home, but the energy efficiency as well. Thanks again.
Thank you.
2 Sonic Chop House cheeseburgers coming up.
Adding the crispy onions.
Spreading the Chop House aioli.
Sonic Chop House cheeseburger, ready for pickup.
We really struggled trying to find an attorney to take my daughter's disability case. After being dropped by 2 other local attorneys, we called Warren and Griffin.